9. Which concluding sentence would be added after sentence 20 to best support the information presented in the passage? Okay, here's our final sentence at the end of the passage, which is typically going to restate the thesis claim and arguments. So that was basically that the rover made significant contributions, finding evidence of water on Mars potentially, and other benefits like taking pictures of craters and features of Mars, and it ended up lasting a lot longer than expected. Okay, so we'd want to restate that, and we might advocate for some action or have some type of forward-looking statement depending on what's the end of that paragraph. So let's go up and actually check the paragraph to get an idea. So Opportunity was an important asset in scientists' study of Mars. It returned valuable data about our neighbor planet and survived powerful dust storms. Yeah, that's basically what we said is the thesis claim of the passage. NASA described the mission of Opportunity as one of the most successful and enduring feats of interplanetary exploration. Even though this rover's journey ended, other rovers will roam the surface of Mars. Okay, so it mentions some forward-looking statement here that other rovers are already on the surface of Mars, doing the same thing or maybe related things as the Opportunity. Okay, so we probably want to bring that idea into our final sentence. A, these rovers, including one named Curiosity, will help scientists answer their lingering questions about the planet. Okay, that looks appealing. That does bring in the other rovers. It brings in one specific rover named Curiosity. I'm not sure why we would narrow down and focus on a specific rover at the very end of the passage. Seems like that would be something more in the middle of the passage. And will help scientists answer their lingering questions about the planet. Well, what exactly is that? That's kind of vague. Lingering questions about the planet? Well, what are they? And are those things that the rover can even answer? This is not clear. It sounds good because it's including the rovers, but I'm not sure this is the right fit for the very end of the passage. I think it's a little too narrow. B, today's rovers continue to add to Opportunity's discoveries and will help us learn even more about the planet. That looks good. It's following on about their additional rovers, and it's saying these additional rovers will continue to help us learn more about the planet, which is a little different than answering lingering questions of scientists about the planet. That's very specific. Helping us learn even more about the planet is more broad message, which is probably more appropriate for the conclusion. So I think I'm liking B. Let's just check C and D. And in conjunction with these rovers, NASA is using other resources, including orbiting spacecraft known as Mars Odyssey, for the exploration of the planet. Okay, so would I mention there are other rovers and then say, in addition to that, there are things other than rovers there that explore Mars? At the very end, I don't think so. Again, I might say that somewhere in the body of the passage, but why would I point that out at the end? Because this passage was about Opportunity and the rover and what this rover did. So I don't think we need to bring in other types of exploration, that is satellites or anything else orbiting Mars or otherwise. Not quite as good a fit. Potentially tempting, but not really what we should put at the end of the passage. With its red dust, rocky surface, and freezing temperatures, Mars will continue to be a challenging environment for today's rovers. Okay, that might be true. Actually, we learned it is a challenging environment, especially those dust storms, right? Never said anything about freezing temperatures in the passage. I'm not sure why I would bring that up here at the very end in the conclusion. Typically don't want to introduce new ideas in a conclusion. So I don't like that so much. And is really the main idea that I'm driving here the fact that it's dusty, rocky, and a challenging environment? I don't think that's the core idea. The core idea is that the Opportunity offered us a lot of benefits and contributions, and now others are there doing that as well. Why would I focus on the dusty, rocky surface? That's too narrow. It's not really appropriate or fitting for the end of the passage. Each of these has some sort of interesting elements on their own. So I could see students potentially choosing any of A, C, or D. But it doesn't look like those are the best summary, the best to follow on the mention that there are more rovers. The best summary idea would be today's rovers continue to add to opportunities discoveries, which was the core idea of this passage. And it will help us learn even more. The idea was we learned a lot from the opportunity rover. So B is going to be the correct answer for number 9.